It seems like on a weekly basis on the live streams, I'm getting asked, Mike, what are the Renko settings that you currently use? And why do you use Renko charts versus time-based candles? Today's video, I'm gonna share with you guys the Renko settings I use, how I use the Renko charts, and why I use the Renko charts that I actually use. Now, if you've ever added Renko charts to your chart, you'll notice they look something like this, basically bricks. And with these bricks, we do not see any wicks on the candles. And that poses the first problem of why I actually use the type of Renko charts that I actually use, because within this candle, price may have came up higher, but when you're going back and looking at the charts, you're simply not going to see that wick. However, when you look at the Renko charts that I use, notice we can actually see those wicks on the top and the bottoms of those candles. And that's going to be important here in just a few moments. Now, if you ever try to add Renko charts to your NinjaTrader chart, what you'd want to do is right click on the chart right here where it says data series, click on that. Then right here where it says type, this is going to be the bar type. Right now, this chart is set to minute and it's set on the 1 minute interval, but you can scroll right down here to where it actually says Renko. And then if you select Renko from there, it wants us to then go ahead and select the brick size. Now the brick size is going to be how many ticks are in each brick. The more ticks in a brick, the longer it's going to take for that candle to form. So for instance, with a 6 brick candle, each one of these bricks are going to be 6 ticks. However, if you look down here at the bottom, notice where it says time. We have so many candles within this 1 minute time frame. So now I went ahead and I bumped up the brick size to 25. I want you guys to pay very close attention. I went over here and brought in market replay, and let's just go ahead and watch this last bar on the side. And here's what you'll start to notice. As it starts to go up, notice when it comes back down, we do not see any wick there. So it could actually give us a little false sense of what the market actually did. We are not going to plot another brick until the market has moved at least 25 ticks. Then we'll go ahead and we will plot a new brick. So you can see we've come down a little bit, and look, if you were just simply to pause the chart right there, we'd have no idea the market actually went up towards that level. And that brings on why I actually use the type of Renko charts that I currently use. Now I started using this type of Renko chart probably back in 2016, 2017-ish, when I switched from the other platform I was trading with coming over to NinjaTrader. And I decided and I was looking for volume profile tools. This is way back before NinjaTrader had their own volume profile tools. And there's a company called NinjaTrader that I purchased my volume profile tools from. And then they sent me an email saying, check out our Renko bars or something along those lines. And that brought to us the Ninja Renko bars. These are going to be the candles I currently use. I'll leave it linked in the pinned comment section down below where you can download these Renko bars absolutely free. I'm going to show you why they're so much better. So when we look at these candles right here, you can see we have a wick on the bottom. We have a wick on the top. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to let market replay play. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to bump up the tick size to 26 ticks by 13. I'll talk about those settings here in a moment. But look at this candle. We can see in this candle, it's been lower. It has been higher. So we have more information within this type of Renko chart. Now, one of the beautiful things about Renko charts or even range charts is the fact that if we stay within this range for, let's say, 3 hours, we'll still be on the same exact candle. This gives us more confidence in price action than just time-based, hey, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes has passed. It's time to go ahead and plot a new candle. So if you see the market moving, we know it was actually moving. Now you can see we're starting to pull back here just a bit. Now, one of the other things that's going to be a little bit different about this candle type, if I right click and I go to where it says data series, you can see we have an extra parameter. We have brick size, which is going to be how many ticks in the actual Renko bar, but that can vary because of the wick. Then we also have what's called the trend threshold. Now, if we go ahead and we just simply, I'd like to keep this half whatever the brick size is. Some of you guys like to change it a little bit differently, but if you set it at half, what that means is the next bar, in this case, since I have it set at a 26/13, it means the next candle is going to open in the middle of the prior candle. There is a downside to this because this open is actually a fake open. It does not mean the market was actually there. Maybe we closed up here, the next candle is going to plot there and simply go right back up as quick as you can, really see it. So it does give you a false open, but it does help you identify the trend a little bit better. Now, if we were to change this setting here just a bit, and let's make this a little bit more extreme. Let's say we want it 6. So at 6, I'll simply hit OK. And now look, you can see how these Renkos start to look even differently. Let's say we want to take it one notch even further. We want to set this to a setting of 2. You're going to see it's going to be even a more extreme look. And what that means in that front is it's opening 2 ticks from the prior candle's open. Now, for me personally, I like extremely fast Renko charts. If you guys are joining me on the live stream, you guys probably see me trading on the 6-3 Ninja Renko settings, and these charts are going to move extremely fast. However, what I'm going to share with you guys here in just a moment of a way in which how we can use the Renko charts. This will work regardless of what Renko bar setting we use, as long as you're keeping with that 2-to-1 brick size, the trend threshold. Now, what I'm going to look at is I got 2 moving averages on my chart. The faster moving average will be the 50 period EMA. The slower moving average is going to be a 200 period EMA. Now, we can use this basically as a trend filter. If the faster EMA is above the slower EMA, then we simply want to look for buy side setups. I'm going to show you guys what a buy side setup looks like here in just a moment. However, when we cross and we go back down the other way, like we have right here, where the faster EMA is below the slower EMA, then we want to look for sell side trades. Now, just to keep things very simple, we only want to look for either double bottom patterns. We have bottom number 1, bottom number 2, or we want to look for double tops, top 1 or top 2. And I'm going to scroll through here and show you. Now, it's not going to really matter if you use a 6-3, use a 12-6, use a 20-10, use a 30-15. It does not matter. And I'll show some examples of different sizes. Now, when we look right here, which direction should we be in? Here's the 50 period EMA right here. Is it above the slower EMA? The answer is yes. Now we have a potential double bottom-ish pattern. Now, to qualify this double bottom pattern, we need to see the second bottom within that wick on bottom number 1. Well, if I simply draw a horizontal line right here where that wick starts, did we actually breach into that area? We can see we did. Now, from this point, we have 2 different ways we can enter this market. If you're a breakout trader, then you can go ahead and wait for the market to break above the swing point here, putting your stop loss below that swing low, looking for a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio at minimum. If the market moves a 1-to-1, you then move your stop loss to break even and see if the market can continue to run. Now, in this example right here, all the way up towards the high before it peaked out, the market ran 17.25 points. Our stop loss in this example would have been roughly 5.5 to 6 points. That would have met that 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. However, what if you want to say, as soon as you've seen a bullish candle, meaning if you guys use green, I have blue for mine, I'm partially colorblind, but in this example, I get a candle that closes up, I can enter right here a little bit early, again, using that same stop loss level right down here, risking roughly 3.5 points now, with the possibility of making 19.5 points. Now, let's be real. There's no way you're going to get out at the tippy top, but I just want to show you guys what is possible in that example. Now, what about a double top? You might say, Mike, here's a double top, top 1, top 2. You are correct. But what's one of the things that we forgot about in that example? The faster EMA is above the slower EMA. So in that case, we simply have to sit it out. This is not one where the trend is also aligned with that double top pattern. So double tops, we're looking to short, and we need to see the faster EMA below the slower EMA. All right, so here will be one such example. Here's the fast EMA right here. It's below the slower EMA. So I'm looking to be on the sell side of the market. Right here is the wick. And if I simply draw a horizontal line right across that area, you can see we actually come up and we touch it right to the tick. So in this example, we still have a potential for a sell side trade. For those of you that are a little bit more aggressive, you could have entered on that red candle there once it closed, had the potential for 9.5 points. And in that example, you would only be risking roughly 3.25 points. For those of you a little bit more conservative, then you have to wait until you break right below down here. And in that example, you have a little bit more risk on the table. We'd be risking 6.25 points. And guess what? the market only goes down 6 3/4. Now, once the market moves at least a 1-to-1, remember earlier we said then move your stop loss to break even. So in this example, depending on how you traded that double top pattern, you would have either had a win or you would have had a break even trade. Let's look at another example real quick. Double top, top one, top two, big push down. We can eyeball that and clearly see it's way more than a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio on the trade. Then the market comes up here, top one, top two, we break the neckline, boom, on the move down again. Then we get another one right here, top one, top two, boom, another move down once again. And there's plenty of these setups throughout the course of the day. But let me go ahead and put this on a much larger time frame real quick. And I'm going to bump this all the way to a 2010 Renko setting. Now, just to show you this same setup will work, here's the EMAs. Faster EMA is above the slower EMA, means we're looking for buy side trades. Here's bottom number one. Bottom number two comes into it. And in this example, in this example, if you're waiting for the neckline to break, you would have been risking roughly 20 points. Remember, the higher the brick size, the more risk on the trade. But how far does this market actually go before it tops out? What I have on market replay, the market actually goes 77 points. Now, I am curious real quick because in this example, if you look right here, the market ran up roughly 30 points. So if you did not take a partial profit, then you actually would have been dinged out for break even right over in this area over here. And if you're looking to play this super aggressive, meaning as soon as we came into this area, you could have bought on this blue candle right here. Then let's see how far we went up there. You went up 41 points. And in that example, you would have only been risking roughly 8 3/4 points, which is more than a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio on the trade. So again, it's going to depend on how you want to enter the market. Do you like to trade semi breakouts, or do you like to buy on pullbacks in the market? Now, I will be doing a video in the future also showing you guys how I play these snapback trades, which if you guys already joined me on the live stream, you probably know how I trade those setups. Now, if you guys trade with prop firms out there and you want to check out the best prop firm deals, go to propfirmmike.com, where you can sort by the prop firm or the prop firm challenges. For instance, if you want to sort by the prop firm and you want to see which prop firms have NinjaTrader prop, select NinjaTrader prop. And you can see all the prop firms that I trade with. We have 4 prop firms that meet that criteria: Apex Trader Funding, Take Profit Trader, Lucid Trading, and Tradeify. Now, if you want to learn the strategy behind me passing 5 Apex evaluation accounts, make sure to watch this next video right here.